So guys, it's that time of the year again. It's the most important time of the year for me. And unfortunately, the the green one is not currently. I don't currently have access to the green Snuggie, but we got the red Snuggie on. But also there was this draft lottery thing that happened. So anyway, the draft lottery happened today with the Sky getting the 5th pick, the Mystics getting the 4th pick, the Storm getting the 3rd pick, the Lynx getting the 2nd pick, and the Dallas Wings getting the 1st pick. Basically, it is the exact order of records. It is the exact order. And I'm going to be honest, this is very, very important for the Dallas Wings because there is a obvious pick because you're not going to be great. Like, it depends. Sorry. There are two ways you go about this. You go and either get hot in free agency and get a lot of the top players, and you go and then draft AZ Fudd as this complementary piece. Like, let's just say hypothetically, you manage to use the cap space and convince players we're going UConn. We're going UConn. And you manage to convince, you just go, you know what, Tina Charles, you come in as our backup. You're going to be our backup center. Fee, Stewie, Azare. We can afford every one of yous. We can afford all three of yous. And then, okay, we're going to draft AZ. We're going to go UConn. We have the ability to go UConn. And with this weird free agency, look, it's in Dallas, but I mean, it doesn't really matter where it is. Where it's going to be Connecticut and Dallas. Then you draft AZ. Any scenario where they're trying to build, you take Awafam. And Awafam with Paige Bueckers is going to be like long term the only guard big combo that can compete with Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston. Long term, that is. Short term, I think Awa still has quite a bit to go to even be a Leah Boston. And I think Paige has a little bit to go to be Caitlin Clark. Ironically, Paige is older, but like I think Paige at some stage in her career hits the heights of rookie Caitlin Clark, but I just don't. It's not going to happen in both of their year ones. But the chance is when they're both off their rookie deals, this is a duo that can compete for a championship. It is watch the Wings waste on Lauren Betts if they fuck it. That's the best thing to do. When's the last time a WNBA team? When is the last WNBA team that won a title with a 6'7" center that couldn't move? When was that started? I'm just trying to think of bigs. 2021 Chicago Sky. I know they had Azare on their team, but I'm trying to think who was their starting center. Oh, it was Candace Parker, was it? Did Candace Parker start at center? So they started Candace Parker at center. Or Steph Dolson sometimes, who is a shooter. Lauren Betts can't shoot. So 2020 was... can't even remember who was 2020. It was Seattle Storm. I don't even know who was on the Seattle Storm roster in 2020. But basically, these Lauren Betts players, they know better. They just got off McCown. Yeah, like I'm glad. I'm glad people are starting to figure this shit out. That like, it's not that Lauren Betts is bad, and it's not like she has the Tiara McCown attitude issues. It's that the game's moved past Lauren Betts. Not only that, she's been so average as a senior. She has been so average. Like, okay, she's 5 for 5 so far today. They're facing Southern. Southern what? I mean this, like, I'm looking at the game. But like everybody being like, you know, oh, Lauren Betts, like look at her gravity she creates by existing. She is playing Southern. They're so irrelevant. They're not even Southern anything. They're just Southern. They're just Southern. Southern what? Where is Southern? Like the Southern Jaguars. Where are they based? They are based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They compete in Southwestern Atlantic. Okay, is Southern America? Is that just it? They don't even have a place, it's just Southern. But if we're being honest, like there's only two ways you go with this pick. You go with Iowa. If you don't bring in all these incredible free agents to win a title immediately, you bring in Iowa Fam, because Iowa Fam is the best prospects here. If you don't, or if you want to go develop a duo with this draft, you draft Iowa Fam, because I'm gonna be honest, there's no center in 2027 that's even close to Iowa Fam. There's no center in 2028, not named Sarah Strong. You're not gonna get the number one pick again. There's no big that's even close to Iowa Fam in 2028, not named Sarah Strong. There's no big in 2029 from what we've seen so far that's even remotely in the stratosphere of Iowa Fam. And that's where the issue is like, there's not that many modern bigs in women's basketball. You can count them on two hands. And modern bigs that are capable of playing at the WNBA, you can count them on one hand. And modern bigs that are capable of playing at the WNBA and have the size, and have a huge size, there is, in my opinion, like Aaliyah is 6'3", but she's got enough size. I do think she's got enough size for it. So if you're talking about true modern bigs, it's like Aaliyah, that don't have to adapt. Aaliyah, Aja, Fee, Stewie are kind of like wing big hybrids. Maybe Fee. Malonga, Awa. And then there's players with potential, like if Kiki becomes a better interior presence, if Ezzy can shoot the three ball a bit better. There are examples of players that could be, but like there are so few like players in the entire NBA or in WNBA that are Iowa Fam. There's a lot of 45. Not 45. Geez, there is significantly more 40% 3-point shooters. Albeit AZ Foot is fantastic at that. So look, I think we'll know who's going to go number one based on free agency. I don't think we're going to know who's going to be number one based on this pick. We're going to see how they do in free agency. Like if we see Dallas striking out on the Stars, if we see most people going back to their normal teams or to their current teams, then absolutely we'll see them going for Iowa Fam. Like what they're not going to do is make a bunch of strikeout in free agency and then make a win now move in out AZ Foot. But they might make a win now pick if they do well in free agency. So you just never know. If they are trying to compete, and I don't mean this by like compete for a spot in the playoffs, compete for a title, because everyone's a free agent. Literally any team could compete for a title next year. If they're looking to compete for a title, you bring in AZ. If you're looking to compete for a title in 3 to 4 years, you bring in Iowa. It's as simple as that. And if you bring in Lauren Betts, you might as well, I mean this, if you bring in Lauren Betts, you might as well put up your hand and say, I think it's still 1995.